the VSN Arcade Podcast.
Did I ever tell you what the definition of insanity is?
Minions! Draw their fire with your face!
Not the smartest way to greet the heavily armed group that just kicked in your door.
Head to virtualsportsnetwork.com and sign up for the forums today.
Hey everybody, welcome back to a very special edition of the VSN Arcade Radio Podcast, sponsored by virtualsportsnetwork.com. Sign up for the forums today. Turns out I'm back. I've been gone for about, 2 episodes. Probably a lot of bad stuff's been said about me, but since I don't listen to past episodes, I don't care. Thank you very much, however, to Bommaruski and to Twig 4075, as well as Mr. Swarley himself here tonight. And anybody else that has been showing up. I believe Nub was on a couple of those episodes as well. So thank you very much for holding down the fort while I've been gone, basically flaking out on episodes. Not gonna lie. But yeah, I'm JayDizzle. I've been around forever. If you're new to the podcast, since you could probably start with this one right now if you wanted to. A lot of the past episodes are up on our iTunes website via VSN. But if you just want to start now, this is, I want to say this is going to be a grand experiment. Like right now we are literally on Twitch doing a live broadcast of the podcast itself, and the man to my, if you want to think imaginatively about this, he's on my right. This is, yeah, we're going to think about it that way, since you can't really see us together on your video screen right now, since this is the experiment. Professionalism. The producer man himself that has been by my side doing this podcast stuff and basically been running the ship since I handed the reins over to everybody else and said, you guys go ahead. It's just Swarley. Say hello to everybody, Swarley.
Hello.
Swarley, how long do you think you've been doing this podcast?
Myself?
Yeah.
Let's see. It was probably winter of... I can picture it in my mind. I don't know what year it was.
Can you think of a number?
Oh, let's see. 3 years ago?
3 years. So you're thinking like the 10s, 20s?
Maybe 20s.
Okay.
Not early enough for the 10s.
Yeah, I've been around since episode 3? Unofficially, officially, which is really weird. Like, I can consider myself an OG of the podcast. And basically, I would be the Michael Corleone of the podcast. Every time I try to get out, they keep on dragging me back in. Which is understandable. I mean, I am an awesome podcast host, I would say. To my own horn. Big old ego and all that. I'm kidding. But enough about me, Swarley. I am proud of you for going forth and doing this experiment since we haven't been doing an official podcast, or at least you guys haven't been doing an official podcast for about a month now, right?
Yeah, that freaking summer, man. So
Summer
dead.
happened. Summer happens.
Even news dies. It sucks.
Everybody literally went on summer vacation. There was nobody to call. So when you literally have to drag me out from under my rock, then literally nobody else is here, other than me and Swarley. Just saying. It doesn't make the podcast bad or anything if you're listening to this via the audio version, but just saying. If it's just me and Swarley, that means everybody else is gone. You should probably pick that up already if you've been listening to the podcast for a little while. But like Swarley was saying, literally and figuratively, I would suppose you'd say, there hasn't been a hell of a lot of gaming news up until now, since the summer has been hitting and there's been a drought. Ever since fall and spring have happened, E3 happened, and there was a lot of, we're going to have all these games out in the fall and get ready for it. Now everything's being pushed, literally been pushed to 2015. So unless you're looking forward to playing Madden or some other digital version of an indie game that became non-indie when Sony bought it, or Xbox, there's nothing to play.
I've got plenty on my list.
Because you run on PC and fucking Steam, man. You're playing games that literally are not finished that have been sold to people for hundreds of dollars.
I'm still looking forward to Shadow of Mordor and Alien Isolation and...
Yeah, but that stuff's probably going to be pushed till 2015, right?
Nah.
I think it will.
Nah.
Speaking of video games, though, we are an actual Virtual Sports Network Arcade Radio podcast, so that means the keyword is arcade, keyword is video games. We do have a list here. If you are listening or watching on us live at Swarley 1 through 3 via twitch.tv, where we are hosting this right now, or if you're just listening to this, we talk about video games. And if you're here live with us, thank you for watching. We appreciate it. We have the agenda put out in front of us right now. We have a big list of games played, games in gaming pickups. Basically, I'm going to go through the list if you're new here. Twitch enforcing new content ID stuff, the remasters that have been out lately, and that will be upcoming as well. Talk about Assassin's Creed and all the different games that are coming out for the series, delays that have happened recently and in the past. Dragon Age Inquisition, a little bit of that because I'm a big Dragon Age fan. Swarley is a little bit as well. We're going to talk about Evolve, the new EA Access program that's coming out, some new teasers that are coming out via BioWare and Sony, and as well as final thoughts, shout-outs, and plugs at the end. So, usual stuff for a podcast. And again, if you're listening to this for the first time, we do appreciate it. We would ask you, since we're going to try to port this over to YouTube, we will have a link for the YouTube page for VSN Arcade Radio Podcast via Virtual Sports Network, as well as the iTunes page. Rate, subscribe, like us. Give us 5 stars, give us a shout out on iTunes, let people know that, hey, you've listened to this, hey, you've watched this, hey, you actually pay attention to us. We will get back in kind to you guys. So.
Oh, and I would like to say, since we are doing this live, people in the chats, if you guys have any questions or comments during one of our topics, go ahead and say so.
Yeah, we will be taking. It's not quite live call-in, but it's live chat. So if you have anything to say that it's not inanely stupid, not saying you will, Mike Chase, but if it pops up and it's not, dongers or whatever the hell kids do these days, I say kids, I'm old. Yeah, we'll look at it and we'll immediately respond. So, first thing on the agenda, since we've taken about 20 minutes, sorry, my bad. First thing on the agenda here is games we've been playing and gaming pickups we've had recently. So since it's just me and Swarless for right now, I'm going to hand it off to Swarley and ask him what exactly you've been playing recently.
Playing, I've been doing some good, getting some good backlog stuff finished. I played through Mafia 2, did that all on stream, as I'm doing with all my games now. It's fun. Played through Mafia 2, absolutely love the game. Great story, the setting and how they went about, getting the setting perfect for that era. I mean, they did a fantastic job with that. Really, I was surprised with how much I liked the game. Although, Mafia themed and that era and open world, those are all things that I love. I don't know. I have no idea why I never played that game until now, but I did and I loved it. The only thing I would say against the game is there needed to be some side stuff. You are in the Mafia. There should be plenty of shit that you could do for just some side stuff. Steal a car, do a delivery, do an assassination or a hit, deliver some drugs, or I guess they were kind of against drugs for a while, but the Mafia back in that time was big on illegal casinos. There's just so much stuff they could have done, but it was a fantastic game anyways. After that, I went into Red Dead Redemption on the PS3. Hadn't played that since it first released. Thought I was kind of in an open world. I wanted to play a bunch of open world games after Mafia 2, so went ahead and played Red Dead Redemption again. Awesome game. Didn't really do any side stuff. I'd forgotten how annoying the farm, the ranching stuff was at the very end. You go through all these awesome missions of shooting and everything, and then, here's an hour or two of roping cattle or roping horses. I was like, this kind of sucks. But
I like that part for the sheer fact that the game is literally putting a carrot in front of you and saying, for Red Dead Redemption, saying, okay, well, if you do all these missions, you go kill your former cohorts, and you get to pretend to be a rancher for a little while before. And they even foreshadow it multiple times, like, hey, you don't think you're going to get away with what you used to do, right? And then the big ending happens, and then you get back to this whole, you're, for all intents and purposes, other than if you really count the guys working for the government, you're the last outlaw. And they're coming for you, and you know what's going to happen, but you've just been putting it off for so long. Like, I understand that shooting crows off of a horn nest thing.
That took me forever to figure out.
You yourself were like, I don't like using the targeting system before I can, or the Deadeye system. You're like, all right, that's for wimps and losers. I'm not gonna do it. And then you finally start doing it, and you're like, hey, that's how you do it. Like, it's just one of those things where, like, you aren't going to kill, like, 56 different outlaws, but these crows got to go, man, and you got to do it quick. So.
But it was fun to, now that I've played, Rockstar's latest release of GTA 5, it was fun to go back to their previous game and, all these ideas start coming. Like, I mean, for a next game, I would love to be an outlaw. Do like some train robberies, some coach robberies, things like that. I think while the open world in Red Dead Redemption is awesome, it's pretty damn big. I think there needs to be more stuff out there. Like GTA 5, I want to do. There's times in that game where I want to do nothing but just explore everything. I don't really have that desire in Red Dead Redemption, but it's fun to go back, and now that you've played their latest game, which is absolutely fantastic, you get all these ideas churning.
Yeah, I like the idea of being able to play Red Dead, and you don't have to go do missions. You can go in. When they were first kind of piecing together what they wanted to do for online as far as working their way towards GTA 5 with Red Dead and the online stuff, and how you can bring people along to help you clear out hideouts, and they had like specific like challenges where you could clear out the entire map of hideouts in like one sitting if you wanted to, which is pretty cool. And then they took the regular multiplayer, they took that, and I think they moved it over to GTA 4 and stuff like that. They moved over to Max Payne, and they were like, okay, well, we're going to do official gangs, and we're going to get people to get together in their own like specific groups and do these different modes. And yeah, it was kind of stilted, kind of stunted. You didn't really get to do like a big open map. It was more like, okay, well, we're going to take certain areas of the game, or certain areas that you would have ventured into the game had you seen it in single player, but it's kind of related to the story, and just run around and do crazy shit. And then with 5, it's like, okay, well, we're just going to give you the entire map, just like we did with 4. But you get to do, go up Chiliad and do all these other things. You don't have to go and, do races if you don't want to. You can literally create what you want to as well, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, the thing with 5's map was there were areas that were so different. I mean, you had the big city, you had the beaches, then you go up north. There's hilly regions. There's a giant mountain, and even some other mountains around there. Then there's countryside, there's kind of some desert area. I mean, there's just so many different types of areas. I mean, they did a decent job with varying the areas in Red Dead Redemption, but you didn't really have a reason to go visit some of the cooler, the better looking areas. Yeah.
Like you yourself were saying, when you play GTA 5, you just stop playing the story and you go and you venture to find these interesting areas that nobody says anything about. Like, I've heard stories of people playing online to the point where they didn't know that there was a prison out in the middle of the desert. Like, they just didn't even go to that part of the map. They didn't really look for it, and then when they finally saw it, they're like, there's a prison? And like, you really wouldn't even think to see if there was an army base unless you were willfully looking to steal a tank or a jet. People went out to do that and got to see cool shit. My only issue with GTA 5 is that obviously it's coming to PC, we both know that. But the creation tools for that are still good, especially for a last-gen game. And since it's coming to current gen, it can be even better. But for console players to use the creative tools, it's somewhat limiting versus if you use stuff for PC. Like you yourself said before, like when you were streaming beforehand, like you wanted to stream GTA 4, like the modding community for that for PC has been monstrous. Like they've literally put stuff like Superman, Batman, Iron Man. You can play as a horse playing a piano if you want to.
Made it into actually an interesting game.
Definitely. And yet with 5, it's just like, well, yeah, you can make races, but you can't do like boat mission. You can do boat missions, but you can't do flight missions because the game won't recognize exactly where the X, Y, and Z axis is really with certain areas. Or people can make races. Like I've seen stuff through Inside Gaming on YouTube where people will be like, okay, well, race the giant loop, and literally nobody can finish that fucking race. And with PC, I can imagine that people are going to be able to fine-tune stuff like that giant loop, finally be able to put in Iron Man in GTA 5, or maybe even do like a CJ skin and say, okay, well, we're going to take this map and turn it into San Andreas. But just for like, I don't know, the small areas. And maybe mod in something like, okay, well, if you guys won't build Las Venturas, we're going to build Las Venturas, or we're going to put in San Fierro. Like, yeah, those maps are going to be small, but in the same token, like, yeah, they can, with the mod stuff for PC, they can make it as big as the map that's in GTA 5. I would like to see that.
Padman makes an excellent point here. The ice enhancer on GTA 5. Ditties.
At some point, like, people who keep on saying, okay, ice enhancer, like, at what point you just say, okay, just go outside? Because that's exactly
Absolutely
how it looks.
not.
For the most part. Or even makes it look kind of even better, almost breaking the whole Uncanny Valley thing. And, like, Mike Chase is talking about, he wants heists. Yeah, they're still waiting. They've been waiting on heists until they were going to put it out for current gen. I knew that shit was going to happen. They would not be able to do a heist unless they put it into private lobbies. There would be no way. And he's saying somebody's working on a CJ skin for GTA 5 on PC. Okay. Well, I mean, unofficially, I would say, like, yeah, like pirated versions of the game, cracked versions of the game on PC. Yeah, somebody is working on CJ skin, but I mean, like, something that you can literally purchase legally right now is what I would like to see.
All right, back to my.
Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, we got off on quite the tangent there.
Man.
And what I'm playing currently is The Last of Us Remastered on PS4. Looks awesome. We'll talk about that later, though. Pickups, luckily, have been quite a bit down from earlier in the summer when I went absolutely crazy with the Steam Summer Sale. But all I've really purchased, I purchased about 5 tracks for iRacing. I purchased The Last of Us Remastered for PS4. I just purchased this week Murdered Soul Suspect for the PS4. I got it on the cheap. That was nice for about $20. Alpha Protocol for the PC. I'm very excited for that one. I love that game so much.
I think you literally play that for Xbox, PlayStation 3, and now for PC.
I never got to the 360 version.
Oh. One day.
But, man, that is going to be... The whole time I played through it on PS3, I thought, this is the perfect game to stream. And now I'm going to have to do that some point soon.
Looking forward to it. And Padman says, modding is legal, bro. I know it is, but, I want something official. Something that Rockstar put their stamp on. That makes me, a casual gamer. I don't care. Should I go on as far as what games I've been playing in Game Pickups?
What have you been doing?
Oh, okay, sorry. I have, for the past months or so, been getting a lot into the digital versions of games. I did pick up, like you yourself have, I picked up The Last of Us Remastered, not because I haven't owned it before, but because I haven't finished the game on PlayStation 3. I know, I'm terrible. But I've liked seeing the enhanced look of the game with the improved mechanics as well in a game that I loved playing on PlayStation 3 and got away from. And now I get to stream myself on my own page. I won't pimp it right now. But I like to play and stream that game to people who like to watch. It's a good game to share with other people and experience because of the way the story has been put together as like an emotional experience. It's not just, oh, well, you know, today we're going to play fucking COD Ghosts and hopefully get our new chem for the 98th time. That gets boring after a while. Now you have an actual story you can show off, and you can show it, and it looks good. So it sucks that only Sony gets to have it because I would imagine that if you put it on PC, more people would buy it and go nuts. So, other than that, I've been playing a little bit of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I kind of stopped playing that when I got into The Last of Us Remastered. I need to go back to playing that, but for the most part, I've finished like the story, and I just have to go back and do all the side mission-y stuff, which is fine because originally, like, that's what they wanted you to do, was skip the story and play all the side mission stuff before you got back into the story, but
I've really been enjoying your AC streams.
Appreciate it. You're like the one person that's been watching my highlights.
I don't care what No says. I love Assassin's Creed. Except for 3. Well, we don't need to get into that mess.
I actually went and bought 3, and now it's just sitting in my game pile. Like, I played a little bit of it as Haith, and I'm like, yeah, it's alright. Then I played 4, I'm like, I don't need to play 3. Now I know why.
I want to go back to it just to see if it's as bad as I remember, or if it was just my massive hype going into that game that killed it for me.
I don't think it's as bad. I don't think it's as bad as if you would go back to play the original Assassin's Creed and get like, this is the building. These are the building blocks, and like, yeah, it's an Assassin's game, but all the cool stuff they built up to have people play in Assassin's Creed 4 is like, why would you ever want to go back when you have all the good shit right here? I mean, yeah, it's fun to go watch, you know, original versions of movies, but if the remakes and the reboots of those movies are better than the originals, you can, you know, adopt that remake or adopt that newer version as the best version. You don't have to go back.
Oh, 2's still absolutely my favorite.
True. What else have I been playing recently? I got through Mass Effect 1 and 2 for a little bit, and then I started getting into Mass Effect 3.
You are crazy. How many times have you played through Mass Effect 1 and 2?
One I've played a little bit. Like, I'm at 91% on the percentage on that, I think. Or 70-something, and I'm at 91% on Mass Effect 2. The only thing I have to do is an insanity run on 2, and we'll platinum that game, but I haven't done that because every time I play 1, I'm like, well, if I start up a game of 1, I'm going to peel right through it and be fine, but it actually took me, since I left the game running, officially longer to play Mass Effect 2 than play Mass Effect 1. There's more stuff to do in Mass Effect 1.
I'm afraid for your well-being when Dragon Age Inquisition rolls out this fall.
Dude, you don't even know. I literally, like, I don't have proof of it because I wasn't streaming back then, but I literally put over 100 hours into Dragon Age Origins. Like, my first run through, just doing everything, going back and forth, creating poultices and things, trying to get past certain things because I didn't have access to the internet when I had the game. Like, this was me coming back from Storytime Kids, sorry. Back in 07, right around 07, 08, right around December, I had officially stopped doing my landscaping job and went to go and hang out with my grandmother for a couple weeks during Christmas vacation before I started up a new job. And I was playing on my PlayStation 3 with no access to the internet, so I didn't have access to GameFAQs, I didn't have access to IGN or anything else. It was just me, no guides, nothing. And I just played Dragon Age Origins. So yeah, you're worried for my well-being when it comes to Inquisition when it comes out is fair, because it's gonna happen. Because they're like, oh, somebody like
yeah, I'm ready to see it this time.
Yeah, we could talk about Dragon Age Inquisition later on. We'll go on to that. Just to officially stay on topic though, after Mass Effect 3. I'm playing a little bit of Fallout New Vegas. My only problem is, like, I was super into playing 3, and like I can plop down and play 3 like at any time. just when I play through New Vegas, I'm like, well, you still have the exploration aspects of it, but it got real fucking boring. And my only problem with that is that I played it the way I wanted to play, so I just turned into a mass murderer and like literally killed everything that was in front of me, except for like 2 people. Like anybody that I ever met, I might have done some missions for them, but afterwards I just immediately killed them, stole their stuff, and left.
Yeah, I played through a little bit of that game. Oh, I don't know, a few months ago. It was right before I got my PC. I don't know. I think it got to the point to where it was hard to play some games without the Twitch interaction.
Yeah, like I don't mind not having an audience. Like I need to get back to playing a game without an audience. I don't say I'm addicted to playing games on Twitch and streaming when I can. It's just gotten to the point where like if I'm playing with myself, it's just that if a game is boring, I'll just stop playing it. And I'm not saying New Vegas is boring. I'm just saying where I'm at, I'm like, if I don't adhere to a code of I'm just going to play an absolutely evil bastard or play like a goody two-shoes angel or whatever, like if I'm just like, I'm playing a survival game and in order to do that, I need to eliminate everybody in front of me, like you literally just break the game and you don't have to do anything. Like you will lose on quests that you didn't even think were available at the time. You'll just immediately get quest failed, quest failed, quest failed. And I get that because certain characters are, while killable, important to those quest lines. But at the same token, I'm like, well, after I kill them and then I go see a giant T-Rex or whatever, which is cool, there's nothing else for me to do. Well, in 3, it's just like I can go and explore and find some like weird Lovecraftian nightmare factory place that normally wouldn't show up on the map unless I found a scrap of paper, which I found awesome. So, I don't know. Other than that, I need to get back to 4. I've been playing Last of Us Remastered. I picked up Rogue Legacy, which is hard as fuck, but is fun. So, basically you play like through a lineage of people where you start off as like a super weird character, and then as you go along, you can buy and earn better stats, new equipment, things of that nature, up until like you're able to take on bosses. But I've died so many times, I don't know officially when I will be able to start taking over new areas, because right now I'm stuck in a castle over and over and over again, and since it's procedurally constructed every time you play Rogue Legacy, it's just like, well, unless you quote-unquote lock down the castle by spending some money to do so, you're always under threat and under danger of just dying horribly every time. So that's what I'm playing, that's what I have. So I've talked too much, and I think you need to talk about Twitch enforcing a new content ID system. Like, this just happened.
Oh, that was a fun 24 hours on Twitter. So if you guys don't know, Twitch now, which is run by Google and YouTube and that umbrella, they are now implementing a content ID system similar to what YouTube has now, where all we heard about for a while was, all these Let's Play videos have been getting tagged for copyright infringement. And now Twitch is getting that for ambient music and in-game music. And it's already started. So it was kind of just announced and there at the same time. There was a lot of feedback on Twitter from all that. Personally, I think it's perfectly fine that ambient music is getting flagged, but it's the in-game music that gets flagged that kind of irks me. I mean, it's a video game streaming website. I mean, it's in the game. That annoys me.
I would say
I checked my videos. Dan's Gaming sent out a tweet earlier today that it was a really handy website where you could just type in your Twitch handle and it would check and see if any of your videos have been muted, and one of mine was from Red Dead Redemption. I'm assuming it was the one from when I went to Mexico and there was that music playing.
Yeah.
So, awesome.
Like if it's like official soundtrack music, like, you know, with movies, how they have certain songs, whatever, they paid for the licensing. I'm probably going to take a devil's advocate stance on this. I've been understanding this for a long time as far as, yes, you have games that have these licensed tracks, and it's licensed to the disc itself for you to play as long as you're not playing in front of other people, or at least not recording what you're doing in front of other people. It's not exactly the same as pirating a movie and then showing it to friends and selling it and things like that, but people have been, and people are going to look at this and listen to this and be like, hey, Jay, you're an asshole. People have been making profit off of musicians and game artists and things of that nature whenever they have been partnered through Twitch. They've been making money off of people who have placed their music into games. Now, noticeably, like, a lot of people within the Twitch community have noticed, like, okay, well, I wouldn't be where I am today without people using my music for their broadcasts. I'm not saying, like, okay, well, you know, Metallica is, you know, raising their dander up again by somebody playing their music in a game, or playing their music from a game that's being streamed out, and somebody's getting $5 a head for everybody subscribing, shit like that. I'm not saying that. Like, you have people like Popsky and Danny B who have taken to Twitter and Twitch and Reddit and said, okay, well, I'm going to let you guys use my stuff for free because I know that you guys love my music via Twitch. This is my platform to make money, so I want you to use my stuff. And Popsky has said, okay, well, I'm going to let you guys pay me as much money as you think that I deserve for my stuff. It can be anything from free 99 to, you know, $1 million if you like to, which is cool. But a lot of people, like, you'll have stuff like the Vice City. I think they brought up something like the GTA speed runs and the Vice City runs and the San Andreas runs, where, like, literally the soundtrack to the game is licensed music. You as a streamer aren't paying to license that music unless you are making buttloads of cash through Twitch, through Twitter, through YouTube, or whatever. Like, if you're not a big super famous, quote unquote super famous person on Twitter or Twitch or YouTube or wherever, you're not going to be able to pay those fees. So I see all these people bitching and complaining about, oh, well, you know, they're going to, like, black out my music or whatever. I'm like, look, if you can't adapt to this shit, if you can't handle this, then you don't need to be streaming. Bottom line, you don't need to be streaming, because if you feel entitled to using this music without knowing the legal ramifications of it, like, you're lucky, like, you're not getting hit by a lawsuit. It is Twitch covering their asses, quite literally, with this, saying, okay, well, since we are getting money from some unknown source, a lot of people are saying it's Google, via YouTube or whatever, buying the Twitch product. And yeah, you know, Twitch has gotten big enough to the point where it's not just, oh, it's just Dota. It's like, no, since they've stopped showing most of E3 stuff on Spike TV and there's no more G4, Twitch is literally the place that you go to find your internet gaming news, unless you're using IGN. Like, if you want live streams and shit like that, you come to Twitch. And Twitch has gotten to the point where they need money to expand their empire. In order to do that, they have to, you know, say, okay, well, we have to abide by copyright law. And yes, it sucks fucking beans that, you know, a lot of these old VODs that, according to Twitch and their research, like, a lot of these old VODs that have been from, like, years ago are no longer being looked at. They're eating up all their space, and now that we have literally hundreds of thousands of millions of people jumping on via the Xbox One now and via the PlayStation 4 now, and even new PC streamers that are jumping on, like, saying, okay, well, I want to play games with my friends, and I want to share this with people online, there's not enough room because of these old-ass VODs that, yeah, you can put that on your hard drive, but a lot of people are too lazy to do that, and when they start seeing all their shit starting to be snapped up and deleted, they're going to riot, like they've had so far. And, like, yeah, they've looked at the highlight system, how they said, okay, well, we were going to just do it for 2 hours, but we're kind of hem and hawing about it, and now you can have longer than 2 hour highlights. Use that opportunity to do that. don't just sit there and say, "Whoa, Twitch is being mean" and stuff like that. Like, are you paying Twitch to use their product, other than using paying for internet and paying for broadband to use their product? No, Twitch is fucking free. You don't have to pay to use Twitch. So that's my 2 cents. I know it sucks, but at the same token, like, that's what the internet is. It's still the Wild West. It's still, not quite processed into this little box that says, okay, this is just what the internet is, and there's nothing else. It's different. Copyright law has been, archaic for decades, years, hundreds of years, and now they're just getting to the point where, okay, well, now there's national copyright law just for the U.S., and now there's international copyright law for everybody. Like, literally, streamers are from, like, Australia, Europe, whatever, are just learning about this shit, trying to wonder, okay, what exactly do I have to do for my country versus the U.S., whatever. Trying to stream to literally everybody in the world. Kind of hard to do. So, there's a lot of topics of discussion. I've talked way too long for this, what I usually do on podcasts anyway, sorry. This is going to go on for months, not just, okay, well, this is what it is for a day. This is going to go on for months, and they're going to have Twitch and everybody that uses Twitch and Hitbox Live and anything else that they use for streaming online are going to have to figure out a way to find some middle ground to do this shit. Because unless everybody wants to start being hit by lawsuits from actual artists online that have been looking for money for years, they're going to have to suck it up. So, does that make any sense?
Luckily for me, on a couple different matters, I already highlight my entire broadcast just because somebody comes to the channel, it's just easier to look at the highlights right there on the offline stream instead of going through my profile and shit. So it's nice that I don't have to create like two or three different highlights for my each show that I do. I did that for Wednesdays. I ended up having to do that for Wednesday's stream, but that's nice. As for everything else, luckily nothing really bothers me because I don't care too much about my recordings. Like, I don't really put anything on YouTube. I basically stream just for the live interaction, and anything else on top of that's gravy. So,
like, we had a discussion online to the point where, like, on Twitter, we had a discussion online where, like you're saying before, like, you yourself and I myself are in it for the entertainment value, for having people to come in and watch and interact with us. It's like online co-oping a game where people can come in and watch you play a game, comment on it, and as long as they're not, backseat gaming, whatever, because that's fucking annoying. It's nice to have somebody come and watch you play. What I don't necessarily want to say like, but I want to say appreciate because it affects everybody. What I have come to accept about this whole thing is that it's not just a have or have-nots type of ordeal. Like, everybody's getting affected by this. I mean, yeah, I don't want to say little guys like me and you. I mean, you have a better page than I do. I'm not saying I'm jealous or anything. But our pages aren't the tens of millions of followers like a Man vs. Game, like a Dan's Gaming have. But we still get dinged by this stuff. And then you see guys like those, people like those online that have been doing this for years, they still get dinged by this too. Like, they're enforcing this on everybody. It's not just, if you don't have enough money to handle this, then, deal with it or else. It's affecting everybody, which I don't want to say is nice, but at least it's refreshing. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting for the next couple of weeks, if not months, because a lot of people are a lot of people say a lot of bullshit online, how they're going to move over to Hitbox, how they're going to find their own way to stream stuff, how they're just going to quit streaming altogether because damn Twitch, right?
And Mike Chase here makes an excellent point. Those people going to Hitbox right now, if that site gets big enough, it's going to do the exact same thing.
Yeah, what's funny is that Hitbox is, I don't want to say it's small time. It's an alternative to Twitch. Like, using Ustream as an alternative to Twitch. Well, guess what? If everybody starts using these smaller things, they're going to be as big as Twitch. And like Mike was saying before, like you were saying before, it's going to happen to you guys too. So you can't outrun copyright law. What you can do is write your congressman or congresswoman and say, hey, maybe look at this stuff and, fix it for us maybe if you like. Or find some way to make it palatable to everybody to be like, look, yeah, it's going to cost you some money, but if it helps out everybody gets a piece of the pie at the end. So, like, literally, like, the way I look at it for Twitch, if you're not in it for the entertainment value, and if you're not in it for playing video games in front of other people, you're in it for the money. That's what you want. You want to get partnered through Twitch. You want to make that extra money from donations, things like that. Not just straight up donations through PayPal and things like that. That's the fucking truth. Otherwise, what the fuck are you using Twitch for?
Really, it's only adding like a half an extra step for you anyways. If you don't want this stuff to be flagged on Twitch, all you're needing to do is just, I'm sure most big time streamers are recording their streams anyways. All you have to do instead of hit export from your profile on Twitch is just go to YouTube and upload it straight from your PC.
What's really going to suck is that a lot of people are going to stop recording their VODs, and they'll have live streams, which is nice, but if you follow more than 2 people, you're going to miss a lot of shit. And a lot of these old VODs are going to start becoming missing. Like, they'll bring up something like, yeah, I remember doing something like back in January or something like that. It's no longer there. There's no record of it. And unless you saved it, like you said, on a hard drive, it's gone. So, it's going to be interesting.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I've never been into watching recordings. I don't know. Unless I'm looking for a hit or something. I don't know. I like the live stuff. So it's something that doesn't bother me a whole lot, but it's been fun to see the reactions.
Yeah. The way I look at it is, it's like watching a live version of a podcast, like we're doing right now. Like, you were at work or you were out of the country for a couple weeks and you want to catch up. You get to see those VODs and it's awesome. Like, you don't get the same live interaction like you would have if you're watching a live streamer doing a live show, but it's there. So that's my take on it. Like, I kind of watch VODs here and there, but not as much as I used to because I don't have the time. That's what I like about the highlight system, where you can find like the best ofs for different things. So we talk about this way too much, in my opinion. We're probably going to keep on talking about this as it goes on with future episodes of the podcast, hopefully. Let's talk about something new, though. Now, we have brought up The Last of Us Remastered, and the official topic of remastered games. Now, first, I think you wanted to talk about, as a review and or opinions of The Last of Us Remastered. How did you feel about the game personally?
I mean, I'm not finished with it yet, but it looks great. I mean, every time they do a close-up of one of the characters' faces, say like Joel, I mean, you can see every single strand of hair on his beard, and it looks really good. And, I mean, Naughty Dog did a fantastic job of maxing out that old-ass PS3 last year. And it looks great on the PS4 now. That whole the frames per second makes a whole lot of difference. It's pretty silky smooth now, and being able to play with the DualShock 4 is really nice.
Yeah, it's nice being able to have a one-to-one connection on that brand new controller versus having to go back to like the DS3.
Oh my god, so I've got Family Guy going on the TV right now, and, these moments where they prolong something to try to make it funny usually kind of annoys me, but when the TV's on mute and he's standing there trying to pick up a dead frog with a shoebox for like 45 seconds, that was absolutely hilarious. Nice. Alright, back on topic.
Oh boy, that's what we do here on a podcast. We go on long tangents. And we talk about random shit. Okay. So you talked about new visuals, or upgraded visuals. You talked about brand new controller, how awesome it is to use the brand new controller. Was there anything that you didn't like about the game?
No. Although there was nothing I didn't like back on the PS3 either. It's
okay.
fucking awesome.
To be more specific, is there any particular changes to the game itself that you might be annoyed with, if not you dislike, versus the original PlayStation 3 version?
Nope.
Okay.
No bad remarks from old Swarley.
Okay. All right. Well, single player, awesome as always. Have you got a chance to play any of the multiplayer yet?
Negative.
Will you play any of the multiplayer?
It's a possibility.
Okay. I'm not throwing it out there like, hey, you should go and follow Swarley on PlayStation or whatever, but, if there's any possibility of you playing online multiplayer, I just played with Mr. Mike Chase, who's in chat right now, and our buddy Twig the other night. It was pretty fun. We got stomped out, but it's always fun to play with other people, and especially with the group / factions idea that they had going on for multiplayer. Like, it's another case of Naughty Dog putting out a stellar single-player game and then adding on a multiplayer component that a lot of people may ignore, if not just feel like this is a sleeper addition to this game because it's polished, it's stupidly awesome, and it's a lot of fun to play with your friends. Okay. Obviously, me and Swarley are going to tell you to go pick it up if you haven't played it already.
Absolutely.
If you can give like a proper review of the game, what would you say?
I'd say fucking play it. That's all that needs to be said. If you have a PS4, you need to either play this game again or play it for the first time if you're weird like that and haven't played it yet. Because it's awesome.
Let's see here. I would say, in my opinion, obviously, again, go pick it up. I would say as a review of a game, if you have played the game plus the DLC, the Left Behind DLC and multiplayer, like if you have put all your time and effort into just finishing literally everything in the game, and you own a PlayStation 4, you might not have to pick up this game, but if you have the extra money, or if you have not finished the game, or if you have not touched The Last of Us, because maybe you were a 360 player or a PC player and you have access to Sony stuff now via PlayStation 4 and you really want to play The Last of Us finally and you have the ability to do so, go pick up the game. Go enjoy it. Enjoy it with friends, enjoy it with family. Just know that it's a mature-ready game for a reason. And play with people online if you have a group, because it's worth it. It's fun. It's engaging. There's a lot of plotting and planning to go along with just, running around on the fly and trying to build like a nail bomb or a fucking Molotov cocktail to bring back your team from like the dregs of a match. It's always fun to see that stuff. I mean, yeah, it's no fun to get stomped out, but just to still have the experiences of that and learning how to play multiplayer and getting better is a good addition as well. To go along with the remasters, bullet point here. There was a recent amount of news when it comes to remasters. Capcom had mentioned beforehand via news site, I believe. They're bringing Resident Evil to current gen consoles.
Yes.
Now this is the remastered edition that was on, it was like the original Resident Evil game up-resed to a brand new edition. I believe it started on like GameCube and it was brought over to PlayStation 2 and Xbox.
I don't know what system, if it got brought to anything. I know it was rebuilt for the GameCube.
Yeah.
And then it was ported to Wii U. I know that.
Yeah.
I have the GameCube version.
Cool.
I'm really excited for this one. Remake is you either see when you ask a Resident Evil fan what their favorite game is, it's usually either Remake or Resident Evil 4. So, I mean, I haven't been the biggest fan of recent Resident Evil games. I did like Revelations. That was pretty good. But personally, I think I'd rather see them. I mean, remasters always get a lot of shit, but I think I would rather see a fantastic game like the original Resident Evil get made for the current consoles. And I've seen some images from the game, and it looks pretty good. Then, action Resident Evil 7.
I am one of the rare people that actually like playing 6. I know that's a bad opinion, but the co-op aspect and just basically the blockbuster 3-story arc storyline they had going with 6 really touched a nerve with me, mostly because I wasn't one of those who went from the original games on PlayStation and PC and Dreamcast, GameCube, what have you, all the way up until 6. I started with, I think I played a little bit of 4 for PlayStation 2 once they brought it over. I never played 5. I skipped over to 6. Once I played with 6 and I had the opportunity to play with co-op, it was awesome. Now to see it, them come back and do the remake for current gen screams to me Capcom has run out of ideas yet again, and they're trying to put out one of their old titles that they know they're going to make a lot of money from because, nostalgia addicts like us want to go back and play these older games they may or may not have picked up beforehand, and now they have an opportunity to play it, which is awesome. But, Capcom's going to charge us like $60 for this stuff, plus DLC for like new hats and shit. It's going to suck for that stuff. But for the most part, I think it's cool to have them do this for the newer generations of, I want to say kids, and it feels really weird saying that. For the newer generation of gamers past us that are going to have their first taste of the original Resident Evil, finally. Padman says, I'd like this to be successful so they do another HD version of Resident Evil 0. I do too. 0 was one of those games where it kind of got lost in the shuffle, but it had a really interesting idea of we're retconning, yet we're adding new plot points to the game series as a whole. And it was a good thing. It wasn't just an ignorable game like the Rocky 5 of games.
I personally would love to see a remake of Resident Evil 3 Nemesis.
I like that idea. I also like the idea of if they brought back Resident Evil Outbreak Online to current gen, just to play with other people online, and not just wasn't it Resident Evil, the co-op game that everybody loved to play a while back? I can't remember.
I don't know what you're talking about.
The alternative universe one where you played as Umbrella Agents.
Oh, Operation Raccoon City.
Yeah,
that game was so fucking bad.
Yeah,
it was almost awesomely bad though.
Yeah, Resident Evil Online was basically playing the old PlayStation games, but online using the HDD format add-on to your PlayStation 2, I believe. But it was still cool. So, Padman says, I really want to play those two for the longest time. Well, now you get the opportunity to. I think you could probably get them for PC as well if you wanted to. You just got to really look for it. I'll let you take it with Sleeping Dogs, the Definitive Edition. What's that about?
So, yeah, the question mark doesn't really need to be there anymore. Since today they officially announced Sleeping Dogs, the Definitive Edition. It is going to get, some love like Tomb Raider did with the Definitive Edition this year. Which is kind of funny that the PC is getting one as well, because it looked pretty good on the PC. But I mean, you're always going to get your lashes for announcing a definitive edition or an HD collection or whatever. But, Sleeping Dogs is a really damn good game that kind of came out of nowhere. And if you haven't played it, I'm sure there are people who haven't, and you dig those open world games, those GTA clones and whatnot, this is one of the best ones. And if you haven't played it yet, or even if you have and want to play it again, I would love to play it again. I don't know if I'll get the definitive edition or not, but it's definitely a game you should play.
Yeah, I felt really bad that Sleeping Dogs, from its humbling beginnings as part of a trilogy of GTA clones, to its own series, how they originally had female protagonists, then they moved back to a male protagonist, then they had this whole deal where they're going to mix and match with other Ubisoft type stuff, with Square Enix stuff, with Hitman, and they're really trying to find their own identity as a game. And when they finally did, I didn't think it was possible to literally play a game that everybody loved so much, but it was still an underground favorite at the same time. And yet Sleeping Dogs, that's what it became. For a short amount of time, everybody was playing it on my friends list, everybody stopped. Everybody was lauding this game like they do a lot of games nowadays, where it's this game is awesome, this is fun, you should be playing it all the time, blah, 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 and then everybody just stops playing it. That's what happened to Sleeping Dogs. So, again, like with Resident Evil, having a new generation of people playing this game that haven't played it already on PC, it's going to be nice to have a lot more people appreciate this game for what it was, and what it is, and what it will be, and with a new sequel coming out, hopefully, in the near future, they'll be able to continue on with the series.
Yeah, I mean, for the last generation, it was, of the open world GTA type games, it was except for GTA 5, it was my absolute favorite. It was really good.
They had cockfights.
I mean, you get a lot of stuff that you don't find with GTA. You've got the kung fu, all the hand-to-hand combat instead of shooting everybody. That's really freaking cool. You get a city that, hasn't been done to death with Hong Kong. You got some pretty interesting characters and a story. There are even some platforming parts of the game here and there. I mean, it was really fucking good. I played through it on both PS3 and 360, so I love it. I don't know if I'll get the definitive edition when it comes out. We'll see. That might be a good game for my October marathon. But it's a game that everybody should experience. It's really good.
Okay. Now, before we move on, there was a topic of discussion about remasters and remakes of older games versus companies coming out with new IP games. Now, it seems that this current generation is an M-rated. Yes, it is, Harrison. There's a lot of stuff in Sleeping Dogs that would procure a M rating, and it's not nudity; it's violence. Lots and lots of violence.
Yeah, it's a pretty fucking violent game. It's got more gore than a Grand Theft Auto game.
Yeah, it's basically a lot of context sensitive areas where you could throw people into air conditioner fans and fish processing grinders. You can throw people in that. You can hit people like light tubes, run over people with cars, shoot them up with Uzis, break limbs, just real graphic violent shit. Yet it's still good.
Yeah, I mean it's not overly gory in just a stupid way. It's done in a tasteful way that you would find in a movie of the same subject matter.
It doesn't go beyond. It goes beyond GTA, but it doesn't quite reach the cartoonish version of violence that you would find in a Saints Row game. It's just on the cusp of ultra violence, but it kind of reins itself in a little bit. But at the same time, you're basically playing a Hong Kong kung fu action movie that is rated R. So you're going to see a lot of that stuff. Back to my original thought here, though. With the idea of remasters or remakes, old stuff that's being spruced up added to having an entire DLC collection like Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition, like a Last of Us Remastered, where other than new hats and masks that apparently cost you $10 to get nowadays, which really sucks. Like everything is being packaged into an old game. Like with Tomb Raider, the Definitive Edition, you had all the DLC in there mostly. You had the vanilla game, which is fine, in my opinion, if you haven't played the game before and you want to experience this on current gen if you can't play it on PC. But the idea that all the newer IPs that were supposed to come out, like Dead Rising 3, like Arise, like Knack, like Bound by Flame, like a lot of new IPs just don't grab people like these older games. Because, in my opinion, these older games are established. They have brand names that either have been built up to a point where people know what these games are, including Sleeping Dogs. They know the Resident Evil name. They know how good Last of Us is. So they know that they're going to get a quality product that's been polished enough and has been upgraded enough to where it's the ultimate edition of this game. You're not going to go wrong with this. Versus a game like Knack, where everybody was thinking, okay, well, Knack's going to be the new platformer mascot, whatever, finally, for Sony. They've been looking for it for so long since fucking Crash Bandicoot. Never got it. And that includes Ratchet & Clank. That includes Jak and Daxter. That includes Sly Cooper, who they still fucking forget that they had. They put 4 fucking games out for that. It just seems to me like the current gen still hasn't had that grasp of, and I mean, I'm including all the different games like Forza and things like that for Xbox as well. Like, nobody has really come out with that brand new IP that grips people, that tells you you have to buy this game to play this on this new system, versus we have an established game like a Last of Us that seems to be selling the new consoles hand over fist because everybody knows this game is going to be good. You're not going to waste your money. That seems to be a big topic point also as well. And you're going to have a good time. Versus some unknown like fucking Rise, where it's just a tech demo that you spend $60 on.
Yeah, see, I mean, people just need to understand that it's going to take a little while of development with these new consoles to get a new IP that's really going to hit. I mean, you've got these new ones that come out at release. There really wasn't the development time with that console to really understand it and push everything that you can.
Yeah, like we're still in practically year one with these consoles.
Like I mean, we're gonna get The Order and Bloodborne and things like that, and those are gonna be big hits.
Yeah, I mean, we're still waiting on a game like Destiny, like we brought up before, with Dragon Age Inquisition. Like these new games that are coming in, hopefully, will grip people and say, "Hey, man, you need to play this on the new stuff." Like, I think they said something about the sales amounts of Sony, like, just beating the shit out of Xbox right now because everybody wants to play it on the new console, and the new console to get is the PlayStation 4. And now that it's being more readily available, everybody's going to PlayStation 4. So, I just feel like, and like you're saying before, like, yeah, they didn't have enough time for development, so they're not going to, immediately put out these AAA titles that are just immediately just going to kill everything in front of them. It's going to take some time to get there. It just feels like, how you buy a DVD with an original movie. Like, say you bought The Avengers, right? Avengers is a good movie by itself. You don't need the extras and things like that. But then there come
ridiculous.
Think about it this way. You bought The Avengers. The Avengers is a cool movie. You saw it in the theaters. You want to see it again. You want to own The Avengers. You want to show your friends. But then the Blu-ray comes out, or the digital version comes out, and it has all these extras. It has all this behind-the-scenes stuff, like 3 hours of awesome. But you kind of wish you had that 3 hours of awesome to begin with. So, I don't know. Also, I'd like to say live on stream right now, not this audio recording, even though we do appreciate everybody coming in to watch right now currently. Thank you, everybody that's in chat watching and interacting with us live. This is a project slash science experiment that we were trying to do here with the podcast. We're hopefully going to be able to do more live with more people as we go along with this, but we do appreciate everybody that's watching and everybody that's interacting in chat with us right now. And everybody that's downloaded this through iTunes and through Podomatic and wherever else you can find this podcast. Thank you very, very, very much for listening to us right now. All right, enough of that spiel. Let's go to the topic that you actually want to talk about.
Yeah,
and that is Assassin's fucking Creed.
Although I guess it is kind of a good thing that Nub isn't here for this part of the podcast.
Because he hates Assassin's Creed, yet he loves fucking Disney for some strange reason.
All right, so
Quite literally.
we have had a humongous bunch of news come out over the past week for Assassin's Creed. First off, let's just get it out of the way. We've known that there's been a previous gen version in development for release this year. It was codenamed Comet. It was leaked way back when Unity was leaked. And for some reason, they didn't really give it the light of day until now. But earlier this week, it was leaked again as Assassin's Creed Rogue. And like Ubisoft does, I actually like that Ubisoft does this. When a game gets leaked of theirs, they're not going to fuck around and say, oh, I don't know about this. We don't comment on this. They just go ahead and say, hey, you're right. You got us. Here's our game. And so they revealed Assassin's Creed Rogue, which will be for PS3 and 360. I'm sure that we'll get some ports somewhere down the line for some other consoles and platforms. But in this game, the really interesting thing is the main character is not an assassin. Well, he starts out as an assassin, but you are going to get to play as a Templar. And that's going to be really interesting. The only other time we've been able to do that was in Assassin's Creed 3 with Haytham Kenway. But when we played as him, we didn't know he was a Templar until right at the very end of his section. So some things that have come out for Assassin's Creed Rogue. First off, it is going to be the end of the North America / Kenway trilogy. So it's going to tie up some loose ends there. It's going to take place between Assassin's Creed 3 and Assassin's Creed 4. So you're going to see somebody like Haytham Kenway, who is Edward Kenway's son from Assassin's Creed 4, and he's Connor Kenway's father from Assassin's Creed 3. So what happens is the main character is Shay Patrick Cormac. You're playing, it's going to have a lot of the ship stuff that was present, that was introduced in AC3 and was fully fledged out in AC4. You're going to be on a smaller ship because there's going to be things like rivers and whatnot that you're going to have to navigate. The game is going to take place in a rebuilt New York City because, let's all be honest, the cities in AC3 were kind of mundane compared to all the awesome stuff that we've gotten to climb in other Assassin's Creed games. You're also going to be able to be in the Appalachian River Valley, as well as the Arctic North Atlantic Ocean. So that should be fun. Lots of new areas. What else? It takes place during the 18th century and the 7 Years' War. Let's see, what else am I leaving out here? But yeah, in the beginning of the game, you started out as an assassin, and, things just aren't going the way that Shay is hoping for, and there's going to be a big moment in the middle of the game where he just says, fuck this. This isn't what I want, and he goes and joins the Templars. And I'm sure that we're going to get a little look. That's going to have a lot to do with how Haytham became a Templar as well, because, it's kind of, we don't really know what happens. We know that Edward is an assassin. We know that Haytham is a Templar by AC3. So we don't really know what happened there, so it'll be exciting to see how that all unfolded.
So you think that the new guy is going to be the guy that, spoilers, kills Edward?
I don't know. Could be. It'll be really interesting to see, to have a fill in for the gap between AC4 and AC3 story wise.
Definitely.
But yeah, I think this is a decent. We all know that Ubisoft kind of gets ragged on for annualizing Assassin's Creed, which is fine. But I think this way, putting out 2 separate games is better than, say, last year with putting out the same game on all different types of platforms. Because this way, the development of Unity can be just focused on the new-gen consoles and PC, and it can actually utilize all of the performance of that console instead of having to make sure that your game is dialed back enough that you can play it on something like the PS3 and 360. This way, you're going to get a much better game in Unity. And if you still haven't upgraded, you still have a shot at playing Assassin's Creed this year. So, I know they're putting out 2 games, but I think that's the better route to go.
How do you feel about the lack of publicity for Rogue, even though it's basically going to be the game that will fill in that gap, that hole that Unity will be unable to fill?
Yeah. And speaking of Unity, which is the one that we've been hearing so much about since spring, and we got a whole bunch of video on at E3, set during the French Revolution. There has been some new stuff come out about that, gameplay-wise, and how the game's built. There's a whole lot of new shit for this game. With the power of the new consoles, you're gonna see you're gonna be able to see something like a crowd of 30,000 people. This is a series that has always been built around the immersion with the setting of the game, and now you're gonna be able to have massive amounts of people that you haven't been seeing in other types of games. These people are they're going to have their own lives. You're going to see people holding hands. You're going to see people arguing, talking with each other, doing a whole bunch of different stuff. It's really going to be like you're walking through an actual crowd. There are gameplay modes, or not modes, gameplay elements that they've improved upon with the parkour, instead of just, the parkouring can be a little at times. There have been times where you may not have wanted to climb up a building, but you did anyways, because running and climbing button was always the same. Now you're going to have separate buttons for all that stuff. You're going to be able to run parallel to a building and be able to run up like that instead of having to run at it at 90 degrees. There are better ways. Instead of just climbing up the building and then stopping, if you see like a rope or something that goes across buildings that you want to jump to, now you're going to be able to, all at the same time, you're going to be able to climb up the building, jump over to a rope or a flagpole and stuff like that. And it's going to be a lot more fluid, which will be nice. It'll be nice not only for gameplay, but to look at as well. What else? There are character building elements now. You can, when you pass missions, you're going to achieve points that you can throw into stealth or combat or other things like that, kind of RPG-like. What else do we have? I'm forgetting something that I wanted to talk about. Oh, those awesome missions where you had to follow somebody, and the moment you were spotted, the game said, "Hey, fuck you, you suck. Now you gotta restart." Now there are different elements to these missions. If you fail, well, I won't say fail. If you are spotted, now your person who you're following can run, and you can chase this person down and get the information from them a few different ways. Say you can kill them instead of listening into their conversation. You kill them, loot the information that you need off their body, and now there can even be guards. It'll say guards see you kill this person. Guards are going to come running for you. I mean, it's gonna be quite a bit of big upgrade from what we've been seeing. I mean, there are other stuff like that as well that have been upgraded, like combat. You're not going to be able to just take on a massive crowd anymore. I mean, obviously Assassin's Creed is built on stealth, so that's how you should be going about your missions. But instead of taking on a whole big crowd, you're going to only be able to take on 3 people at a time without being, overpowered, which will be nice. You really gotta watch out for what you're doing. Stuff like that. It's gonna be. I'm really excited to see this game and get my hands on it.
I dig that you love this game so much. It's not even out yet, hasn't been finished yet. So your excitement for Unity is awesome. Now, in my opinion, Rogue feels like they just took Assassin's Creed 4 and put a new story and new elements into it, but they really haven't. Like, it's just been announced, so I understand that this obviously wasn't going to happen anyways, but it just feels like they're putting all their eggs in the basket of Unity because this is going to be the big blockbuster game that Ubisoft wants out of the series. Like, they want this to be the shining moment of their series because it's going to be on current gen. It's going to be awesome for everybody. It just feels like they had half-heartedly mentioned, we're doing something for PlayStation 3. Unity won't really be on PlayStation 3, so we're going to throw you a bone and make you a new game. But at the same token, it just feels like, we're making a game. It's called Rogue. You get to play as a Templar. You get to play all these different areas. It's part of the 7 Years' War, like you're saying before. It takes place in between 4 and 3 timeline-wise. Anthems involved, things of that nature. But at the same token, it just feels like there really wasn't a lot of thought as far as advertising for Rogue. It feels like Rogue will end up, if it's really good, it's going to end up just like Sleeping Dogs, where it's this awesome game that nobody's going to play unless they are stuck, and I put that in quotations, stuck playing on PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they're really counting on it being a big hit.
Then why make it?
So you don't have to bog down Unity with previous gen builds, and
then why
also
not?
So that I mean, there are plenty of games out there that aren't meant to be AAA blockbuster made billions of dollars, and I think this is it, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that Rogue is a budget title. It's not going to be, but
I mean, here's my thought. You're gonna have to have a team to make an Assassin's Creed for the 360 PS3. This way, Unity doesn't have to suffer for the scope of Unity doesn't have to suffer, and now those people can they can put their creative input into making their own game. I mean, either way, the time and money is going to be spent to put out a game on 360 PS3. This way, I think everything suffers less, and it'll end up being a better outcome.
It just feels like to me, my whole rationale, what I'm trying to get to with this is, it just feels like to me like I'm not saying Rogue shouldn't exist. There has to be something for last gen for people to still play on because they're not giving up on their last gen consoles. They know that they're going to make a shit ton of money off of PlayStation 3 games, even if they're dumbed down from current gen or whatever, or just older games out there for like the upcoming holiday season. Like a lot of people are still going to be playing these old systems. It's going to start ending up like how the PlayStation 2 ended up, as everybody was moving on, but at the same idea, you had this huge library of games, and it was worth to keep your console and to have a new game like Rogue coming out. It's added onto the pile, and it's awesome. But I just feel, sorry to interrupt, I just feel like if you're going to make Unity, just go all in on Unity and just say, you know, we appreciated the support of everybody on PlayStation 3, on Xbox, on PC. We love you guys, but we got to move on. PC players, come right aboard because we know that you're going to have we know you're going to have the power of your quote unquote console to come along with us. But for PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, it's been great, but we got to move on. We're not going to dumb down Unity. If you want to play Unity, yeah, it's going to cost us some of your money, but if you want to play Unity, you know, start mowing lawns, start flipping out newspapers, get a job, get that PlayStation 4, get that Xbox One, start building up a brand new PC that'll be able to run our shit, and come along with us.
See, I think that's what they'll eventually do with next year's game, but I don't think they're quite ready to do that just 1 year into the new cycle. Plus the fact that the Kenway story needed that fill in the way that Ezio got his 3 games. I think next year's game there will be one, and it'll be new gen only.
They should have just put it in one of those novels that nobody read.
Yeah, I'm a big AC fan. I still haven't even read any of the comics or novels.
The non-canon novels that have like descriptions of people working at Abstergo and stuff like that.
Well, there is a comic. I think it's a comic that is considered canon, because every time you see one of those pictures of all the assassins in a row, there is the guy who's always on the far right is the guy that hasn't been in games, and I think it was a comic line that he was in. Yeah. And every time I'm like, who the fuck is that? And I'm like, oh yeah, the guy from the comic that nobody ever read.
So it'd be like how Kai Lang showed up in Mass Effect 3, or how what's her face? The one lady that had a romantic entanglement with Anderson, like Kaylee Sanders, I think her name is. Like nobody knew who the fuck those two people were, but if you read the novels, you know exactly who they were. But it's just some shit that doesn't need to be done. Just put it all in your games if you're going to sell it to us. So I don't know. I sound like a grumpy old man. I'm sorry.
But I will say, I'm excited. I will get both games.
I bet you will.
I absolutely will. I'm ready for some AC gameplay. I'm ready.
I bet everybody that's currently watching this on Twitch right now or is listening to us on iTunes and on Podomatic are thinking the same exact thing. Let's move right along, though. The topic of delays. Dragon Age Inquisition has been delayed to November, which is a good thing. Gives them time to polish the game some more. And Evolve has been pushed back to February 2015. Again, more polish is good, but at the same token, it just seems like more and more, a lot of games are getting pushed away, not just because of Call of Duty and Far Cry 4 and it used to be Battlefield Hardline. Now they're getting pushed too. It just feels like everybody's pushing their shit because it's not done yet. And everybody was expecting to have a lot of games to play. There isn't a lot of big titles to play this year. How do you feel about the weight of these games?
I'd rather play a polished game. I don't want broken shit.
I hear you.
There's still plenty for me to buy this fall, so I'm alright with it. I mean, I wasn't going to get Evolve anyways. I don't whole concept of the game doesn't appeal to me. So I didn't really give a shit in the first place.
You don't want Left 4 Dead?
I mean, I know there are plenty of people who do, and I don't know. A group of people against another person who's a monster, doesn't do anything for me. But, I mean, Dragon Age still coming out this fall. Fine. Good for them to get another month and change of polish. Because that's supposed to be a pretty damn big game, and hey, if you need a little extra time to get it right, go ahead and do so. Better than shipping out a busted-ass game and getting crapped all over, so.
I bought Bound by Flame because I wanted to play Dragon Age. That game is okay. It's serviceable, but it's like playing an Asylum Films version of Dragon Age. You get the same concept, they use the same script, but it's not the same. Still a good game. I would recommend it, but no, going in, it's not Dragon Age. So, and I played 2 and kind of liked 2. You know, I said some awful things on BSN. I was kind of bummed that they pushed it to November, but like yourself, Swarley, them pushing it back is good because it gives them that time to put some polish in, add some new characters, new environments. Maybe not have to cut out so much DLC and sell it later on. They can leave it in the game. I like it. What I don't like, and like what I said with Unity beforehand, is they're making an Xbox 360 and a PlayStation 3 version. Like, I get wanting to get the maximum amount of money, because that's what EA is about. Hi, EA. But, you know, if you're going to make these next-gen games, keep the next-gen, man.
You know, that'll be interesting to see how that works out. I mean, there's no way I'll get those previous gen versions, but it'll be interesting to see if that hurts anything with the development of the other versions.
The only reason that you would actually get the last gen games, or last gen game, would be to move over your previous saves. Like going from Origins to Awakening 2 was fun because it had that same feel like Mass Effect did, where you had your decisions ported over to the next game, and it would actually have some consequences. As little as it was like, hey, you're that guy I remember from this area, or I did this for you, lady, and now you're paying me back for it. I appreciate it. So I don't know how that's going to work from last gen to current gen, other than going online and putting in your save information or something like that through their website. Or they're just saying, okay, well, you know, choose like 3 things and this is how your story's going to run. But we're going to bring up story points like we do with, like Mass Effect 3. If you started from just playing Mass Effect 3 and you wanted to pick out, okay, well, you did this in 1, you did this in 2, and now this is going to happen in 3.
That's clown shit right there. Play them all.
It might end up being like that with Inquisition on current gen, but who knows. As for Evolve being pushed to February 2015, hell, as long as it's good, I'm okay with it because I want a lot of people to play it. They had that, that dinosaur game that had, like, it played like Left 4 Dead, except, like, one side you play as, like, Tyrannosaurus Rex, and you play as, like, the Hunters. I can't remember the name of it right now, and I feel like an asshole for not doing that. But, it's like Jurassic something or Prime
I don't know
something.
what the hell you're talking about.
Look it up online. I guarantee I'll be able to find it later on, like I do a lot of times when I do these broadcasts where I bring up games that do actually exist, but I can't remember the name of because nobody's ever heard of them. It was running on PC, and then they wanted to port it over to consoles, but they just took way too fucking long to put it on, and now nobody cares. But yeah, polish Evolve, get it ready to go, because everybody that was playing it on the demos were saying some awesome shit. So to make it better, it's awesome. Mike Chase says October is a stacked month anyways. Yeah, if not just for, like, it's going to be Far Cry 4 versus COD. COD's going to kill everything in October.
Far Cry's in November.
Okay. Well, in that case, yeah. I mean, COD's still going to sell in November anyways, but you get my drift. Like, everybody's afraid of fucking COD for now, so they're pushing their shit back if it's not finished already. So that's what I kind of like about digital sales. They could just put it out whenever, and you're going to pick it up. The only unfortunate part about that is that they get less advertisement. Like, they just put out that new reimaging of Abe's Odyssey. Like, Abe's Odyssey New and Tasty that just came out. I've been hearing good things about that, but only if somebody happened to be a reviewer of that game. Like, I haven't heard it on any main channels at all. Versus when the first game came out and it got a bunch of play through, like, GamePro magazine and all these other areas. Like, you have more access to advertisement through websites and through word of mouth through Twitter and such, but nothing. Not a damn thing. New GTA would slaughter COD. This is true. When is GTA 5 coming out? Like,
they still haven't even announced the date.
They're going to push it back because they don't know when to put heists in. I don't even
give a shit about heists. I just want to play a single player again.
I want to play online, but streaming it. Let's see. EA Access. That's another topic of discussion. The subscription? I heard it was a subscription-based platform that EA was going to put out where I think it was like $5-6 a month. And it's like how they had that early access program where you put in and you get early access to like Madden and all the different other titles. But if you, like Chase says, September, October for GTA, hopefully. It feels like with the subscription service, in my opinion, it's awesome if all you really play is sports games, because that's basically what EA is running besides baseball right now, and cricket, apparently. It's awesome because you don't have to pay full price for the newer games that are coming out for sports, like FIFA, like Madden, like Fight Night, I believe, like UFC. Like, you get, I believe if you put in money towards this EA Access program, it's just like beforehand where you can pre-order a game technically and be able to play it like a week in advance before the game actually drops. And you get access to older titles that EA is letting you play for free as well. Like, I think you get to play like Dead Space and some of the older, cooler titles that they know are known commodities. But there was an important point brought up beforehand on other podcasts I listened to. You should probably listen to as well. The idea that EA themselves as a publisher is putting out this subscription-based thing, and they're going over the heads of Sony and over the heads of Microsoft, and they're just saying, fuck it. No middleman, man. We're taking Origin to a new fucking level and saying, hey, you want to play our games? You want to play it on Sony? You want to play on Microsoft? Like, yeah, they're going to pony up because they want that sweet, sweet EA money. But hey, man, you pay like $5, you get to play Madden early with all your buddies.
No thanks.
I like the idea.
I mean, it's great for sports gamers, but I don't buy enough EA games for it to make it worthwhile for me.
Yeah. If you're not like us, or I guess you can describe us as hardcore gamers, if not just for we purchase everything that comes down the pike nowadays. And we just take it beyond a hobby and it's like a thing we do. If you are one of those who play in leagues who want to try out the new EA games, the sports games, because you know you have friends who will play against you online, sports games specifically, like everybody that like jumped on the FIFA bandwagon before the World Cup, still playing, still going nuts. Like every time you go on PlayStation 4 that I've seen, I'm pretty sure you do the same on Xbox One if you are one of those types who likes to watch people streaming games like that. Like literally the amount of people who are streaming FIFA matches is like half of everything that you can watch people streaming through just your PlayStation 4. Not just looking through Twitch, but Twitch through PlayStation 4. Like seeing them broadcast different FIFA games. Now to have the access of EA access and say, well, now you get to do that a week early. That's going to make them a shit ton of money. But at the same token, it's going to lead to future problems. Because if EA makes a shit ton of money for it, they're going to be able to dictate terms in the future as to who can use EA Access and who can't. Because if Microsoft says, okay, we want EA Access to be exclusive to us, they're going to pony up the money, and everybody that's on Sony's going to be fucked.
Well, Sony said fuck it, and they don't want it anyways.
Oh, that's true. Crimson Dog says $30 for a year is a good deal. Yep. Mike Chase says, I hate Madden, I don't care about FIFA, so this does nothing for me, plus I don't play these games online. Yeah, EA Access feels more like for those who have an online connection and just play competitively online. It's for those types of people. I don't know if anybody would want to run their own franchise through FIFA or through Madden by themselves with EA Access, but you could. You're just putting money in the EA's pocket and they're providing you with your fix for the year, which is good. And just imagine when they start putting this stuff out digital only. That's going to be a new thing that's going to happen to EA Access as well. So, I don't know. You don't dig it. I do. It's the future. It's in our face right now. Let it come. And hopefully, different other publishers like Microsoft, like Sony, like Ubisoft, like Square Enix will take a hint and start doing their own thing as well. So you won't have to worry about different consoles. Like PlayStation Now is probably going to die if nobody likes the beta. But to have personal publishers going through the PlayStation Store and through Microsoft to kick back a little bit of money towards them in order to be able to use it, you got that big catalog right there for, what, $30 a year like Crimson Dog said? There you go. I don't know. It's another topic for another day. Last but not least, there were teasers involved, and you sit here on the list for BioWare as well as Sony. What's that about?
Oh, BioWare is teasing their new game, not the next Mass Effect, but their unannounced IP that they've been saying they've been working on.
Are the Reapers involved?
No. There's some creepy shit in there, though. Like, the first one is a guy in a dream, and he comes across this guy sitting in a chair who doesn't have a head. There's just black smoke coming out of his neck, and it's kind of creepy. It looks quite a bit different from their other stuff, so they've been saying that everything about their teasers has been pointing to a reveal at Gamescom. So I'm excited to see what it is.
Commander Shepard, the Knight Commander of the Grey Wardens, and that one dude from Jade Empire, and what's her face, Darth Revan from Star Wars, Knights of the Republic get together and they have to fight smoke monsters from Lost. That's what I think it is.
Well, all right.
Best game ever. What was the teaser from Sony like?
I actually haven't watched the two Sony teasers, but I do know that one features a bloody snowflake and the other features an axe. So
are they both the same game?
I would assume so. It's hinting at Gamescom as well. I have no idea what it could be.
Okay. So basically off a tangent here. How do you feel about the latest rash of horror games out for current gen?
I'm in. I love horror.
I like horror too, but I don't know if it's just an excuse to put out M-rated games nowadays. Like, you want to have a game like The Evil Within from the original guy behind Resident Evil. Like, we just talked about Resident Evil. That's a horror game. Like, the originals were a horror game. Like, 6 was basically Michael Bay's version of Resident Evil. Yeah, it just seems like more and more, if it isn't a shooter game, it's a horror game that they want to sell to people. If not a sports game, it's a horror game. If it's not an action-adventure game, it's a horror game. Like Assassin's Creed, you can look at it as a horror game because you're mass murdering thousands of people along your way to get to your destination. It's still
You're ridiculous. I'm in for horror because horror seemed to take a big backseat last gen, and I need my horror fix.
I'm not saying we need more sports games. I'm not saying we need more shooters. Puzzle games seem to be put on a back burner, if not put in for like indie games, like 1001 Spikes, like Rogue Legacy, where it's just do these puzzles or do these levels that are built as puzzles, and you get to the end and you win, instead of run away from this monster or hopefully not get beaten to death by some like fucking mutant or chewed upon by some weirdo demon. I'm not saying you have to put out like kids games because nobody's gonna buy them, because we saw that with Rabbids and shit like that already. But give me something other than something creeping around the corner waiting to rip my face off.
Shut your horse mouth.
That shit happens to me already in Last of Us Remastered. I don't need more games of that.
I do.
I bet you do.
As long as these people aren't trying to make the next Call of Duty anymore, I'm fine with whatever they want to give me.
Cool.
Because it finally seems like we're out of that rut, so...
Oh no, Advanced Warfare is going to make much money. They're already talking about putting out a new one already, probably. Before this one even comes out.
I think this year is the start of the downfall. Well, really, Ghosts was kind of...
Yeah,
wasn't as big. I don't know anybody who's hyped for Advanced Warfare.
I'm so pissed about what happened with Ghosts and Battlefield 4. Like, they were trying to build these two big shooters for current gen. Like, this is going to be the shooter game. You're going to have to buy this and be awesome. And then it just turned out to be both games are shit. Battlefield 4 is good, but it took them like a full year to get it fixed to where it needed to be. And then they pulled the whole shit with fucking Hardline and how shitty that turned out to be.
So, off topic, what's exciting? Nathan Drake. He retweeted my tweet for the live broadcast of VSN Arcade Radio.
Nice.
Right.
I like it. What else? Okay, well, I would like to take an opportunity for those who are in chat right now watching us live. Before we go into our final thoughts, if you have any questions, any comments you'd like to say before we give our final thoughts, those in chat right now, seeing as we're doing this live, do you have anything else to ask us or anything else for us to comment on that you like us to talk about before we wrap this up? Now, you don't have to say anything. If you're just watching this and you just want to experience it, that's cool. But if you want to pipe up and say something, now's the time. Whatever you want to say. I'll give 2 minutes, and then we'll go for final thoughts. Or we can edit this out. It's fine, too. It's live, baby.
I'm just looking for some stuff to talk about.
Okie dokie.
I don't know. I'm ready for some games.
Cool. Me too. I'm looking forward to next week, because this feels... I don't know. Let's see. Mike Chase says, Jay, when are you going to get better at The Last of Us multiplayer? When you do, Mike. There you
Called
go.
out on live.
And I died way too much last night. Garrett, don't give me that freedom. You'll be sorry. LOL. Go ahead, Garrett. Ask us anything.
Yeah, just because you get to ask something doesn't mean it'll be repeated.
Yeah, I mean, if you drop like the N-bomb or something like that, I'll chastise you for that. Or, you make fun of like Swarley's dress collection or some shit like that, then, we'll say something.
My dress collection is exquisite.
Exactly. Lots of ruffles. Lots of ruffles. Not sure how much better I can get. Well, comparatively to those who are level 60s and level 70s that we're playing with last night, you have a lot to do, Mike. Okay. Cheap iRacing Apex League plug. There you go. Let's see. Crimson Dog asks, what do you think about all these HD remakes? Like we said before with the remasters / HD remakes, they are proven commodity games they're not just, they put out Blinks the Cat HD or some other bullshit like that. They're actual good games. Now, it sucks that you basically, if you played them before, since there's no, I don't want to say there's no real good games out there, but if you feel like if you want to play a top flight game nowadays, right now, you have to go get those HD remakes if you want to play online, especially if you're a streamer like us that has to have content to show you guys, not just this stuff, even though this is awesome right now. You have to go buy those games. And it sucks that instead of just paying the original $60 down the line, you're now paying $110, $120, $120 plus for these HD remakes total. Plus these old games. So. Garrett says, I'll be good. Okay. And Mike Chase says, oh yeah, those guys blow. No shit. Fucking cheaters. You can literally on the multiplayer, like half the list of perks and stuff that you can use in the game, you have to buy with real money. Like there's no earning them. Like you have to purchase them with money, and that's bullshit. And I know a lot of people we played with online probably put that money towards that, especially level 70s. So, all right, 2 minutes are up. Thank you all for participating in the Q&A. Looking forward to doing one next if we do this live again for episode 102. So look forward to that. And for those who are listening on iTunes, who are listening to us on Podomatic, who find us at VSN or virtualsports.org.com, or just find us through Twitter or whatever.
Sign up for the forums today.
Yeah, maybe not. Probably should. That place is a ghost town. Just saying. Hi, Bill. We want you all to participate. This was a grand science experiment. We want to do it again. Swarley, you want to do it again?
I will definitely be doing it again.
We want to do it again, but we need your support. We need you to come and hit the follow button on Swarley's page, because that's basically where we will be doing it at next week. I will host it like I'm hosting it now through my page through Twitch. So go ahead and follow Swarley133 on Twitch. That's SWARLEY 133 on Twitch. Give him a follow, and you'll be able to find us whenever we put in information as to when we'll be doing this next time. So check him out on that. Also follow him at KAK133 on Twitter. So if he puts up information through that, or when he's going to be streaming, or what he's going to be streaming next, there you go. And you can follow me at JayDizzle04. That's JayDizzle04 here on Twitch. So you can find me whenever I be streaming, as well as the same on Twitter, so you know exactly when, what, and why I am streaming throughout the week. So there you go. Pimpage for everything. Okay, Swarley, you ready for final thoughts?
Final thoughts? I'm ready to get my fill on some Assassin's Creed and some GTA 5. I'm ready to play Rogue, Unity, and the re-release of GTA 5. My body's ready. I need it. I need
my veins, man. Something to spend my paychecks on.
And like Garrett's little cheap plug there, shout out to the Apex Racing League iRacing guys. A lot of fun. Me and Jay Bauer as God had a pretty awesome battle this past week. What else? Shout out to you guys who showed up for our first ever live broadcast.
Yeah,
that's been a lot of fun. And shout out to my other followers on Twitch who have been making the past few weeks, now that I'm finally back into streaming regularly, been making that fun.
He's doing good.
So, yeah, and shout out to myself for finally breaking the 100 follower barrier on Twitch.
Don't get a big head about it, jeez.
It was really funny. That one night I was testing Vice City on my stream. I gained like 12 followers in an hour.
Dude, you were baiting when you did that. You know that. Everybody loves Vice City.
Well, that's what happened to Widmer when he streamed San Andreas. He just got like a shit. He got like 50 followers or so just for that one game.
Yeah, everybody hates new games. Old school games that everybody's played before and loves? There you go.
Yeah, you want to give followers stream one of the games from the GTA trilogy from that gen.
If you want to be successful, stream Paperboy, stream Zombies Ate My Neighbors, and stream Sonic the Hedgehog 2. There you go.
Although I will say I oddly got a lot of viewers from Mafia 2. I was not expecting that. I was regularly pulling in like 20 to 30 viewers for the few nights that I streamed that game. And I don't know why.
The anachronistic Playboy centerfolds?
That could be, because, I always, every time I found one, I made sure to show everybody on on the stream.
Cool. Let's see. Final thoughts. I already did shout-outs for Twitch and Twitter pages, so follow us on there as well. When we do finally put a just audio-only version of this, we should have links towards the iTunes, towards Podomatic, such and so forth, and you'll be seeing it on Twitter as well, so check out those. Final thoughts. Thank you, Swarley, for allowing me to come back to do this once again, even though I've been flaking for the past 2 episodes, especially episode 100 after I made such a big deal over 50 and literally did nothing for 100. Kind of weird.
On the links, the whole links topic, I know I do. I'm pretty sure you do as well. We always have a link in our area below the streams that goes to the episode area, so you can listen to the new one, old ones, whatever.
Yeah, again, follow Swarley. It's underneath the video on his Twitch page. You'll be able to find it there. Mike Chase says, sweet, Last of Us update is live. Should have been live yesterday. I'm glad it's up today. Hopefully we'll have better connection issues taken care of today. Where I was with final thoughts. Thank you, everybody that's in chat right now. Thank you, everybody that's going to be listening to this in the near future. Looking forward to doing more of this stuff next week, so stay tuned for that. Thank you to all of my followers on my Twitch page. I'm not quite at 100 yet, but all 91, 92
so close.
of you. Yeah.
So close.
I lost 2 and I got 1 back. I don't know why. All 90 plus of you, thank you very much. I appreciate everybody for coming by to watch the stream. Even if it's just 1 or 2 people, just having somebody watch me play video games is always an awesome thing. I know I'm hosting right now, so everybody that came through my page to come to see Swarley, thank you very much for showing up. I appreciate it. Make sure to follow him, and if you haven't done so already, click that follow button. You don't have to follow me, but if you do, from listening to this, I do appreciate it. We're doing it for free right now. Looking forward to doing it for money later. Thank you for Twitch for allowing us to do this on their stuff instead of charging us to do this. Thank you for everybody who listens to us do this stuff. I know it's been a while since we started doing this again, but looking forward to doing some more in the future, like I just said.
I wanted to get a little shameless plug in there that I forgot about during my final thoughts.
Go ahead.
October 25th, Extra Life. I don't know if any of you guys are doing any Extra Life stuff. It's huge throughout Twitch. I am participating this year. I will be doing 25-hour marathon on that weekend, starting at Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern and going through Sunday at noon. There's a banner / link below my profile to my personal page, and I have teamed up with Gamer Assault Weekly to do that. I have no idea what I'm going to play yet. Could be some new releases from the fall, or I could be doing my Uncharted marathon for that. But I'm really excited to do that, and it helps raise money for kids, so
Do it for the kids.
It'll be fun. Jay needs to do it too.
I do if my internet connection can stay above water and if I'm not working that day. Because I have a job. Not that Swarley doesn't have a job too. You still work for Gamer Assault Weekly?
I do.
And what is their website?
www.gamerassaultweekly.com.
Find him on there today and rate all his stuff that you've written.
For all your news and some reviews.
Yeah. Follow him on that. Give him a high rating on every article he's ever written for them. And check out all their other stuff, too. It's pretty cool. So, yeah. We're done. Thank you for watching, everybody, here on Twitch. Thank you for listening, everybody, on the back of the day. And today, I did, but they made all these massive posts all the time and took up my activity page. Thank you, everybody who listens to this stuff. Without you, there's no reason for us to do this. So, thank you once again for listening to episode 101 of the Virtual Sports Network Arcade Radio Podcast. Say goodbye, Swarley.
Smooches.
Peace out, everybody. Thank you for listening. And there you go. A podcast is born.
That was pretty cool.
Well, there you go. So yeah, thank you to everybody that's in chat right now. Amaranth.
I already ended the ended the stream.
Did you now?
I did.
Damn you. Everyone for coming out to the grand experiment. Looking forward to doing it again next week. We should have Bomber on next week if he's around. See how well he would take it.
If he doesn't ignore my tweet.
You just need to call him.
I don't like calling people.
You could text him.
I could do that.
Do you have his number? You should text him.
I do.
Dude. What the hell is this?
What?
Apparently Vice is doing an expose on teens setting themselves on fire.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's a thing. We used to do it all the time in high school, but we usually put some fucking lighter fluid on some pants and light it. And it's easy. Oh no, it was Axe body spray since it's flammable. You spray it on a pair of Jenko jeans and you light it on fire. And it was really stupid. And we only did it twice. We learned the second time.
Weirdos.
I know. So. Booyakasha. Hopefully you got a couple new followers. Maybe.
Well, let's see. I don't think I did. Nope.
Me hosting means that everybody from my channel went to you.
Everybody that was there that I saw was already a follower.
Nice. I think Amaranth was following you, so. If not, I know he was one of mine.
I've known him for years. Longer than you guys.
Whatever, man. Cool, so... Oh, so you recorded the audio plus what we're doing right now?
Yep.
Sweet.